So this is the second part of the review sheet. Whenever we made changes, the highlighted changes here. So we're going to make a ratio table to solve this. The instructions on the can for mixing a sports drink is 1 12-ounce can of frozen concentrate to 2 2/3 cans of water. So we're going to put the concentrate to the water, and then we're going to figure out how many total. I'm going to go in ounces to begin with, and I'll talk to you about that. So if you read the problem, it talks about mixing concentrate with water, and so when you mix concentrate with water, you get a juice. So you need that total column. And we know that 1 can is 12 ounces. If we use 1 can, we have to use 2 2/3 cans of water. And so you use the same can. You put water in the can that after you empty the concentrate out. So 2 2/3 times 12 ounces, you could do the distributive property there and say 2 times 12 and do 2/3 of 12 and add them together. So 2 times 12 is 24, and 2/3 of 12 is 8. So that's 32 ounces of water. So altogether you have 44 ounces total. You might not use the total in every problem, but it's good to include it because you could be asked multiple questions. This problem's only asking you about water and concentrate. It says if you, right here, if you want to use 2 gallons of water, how many cans of concentrate do you need? So I need to get my water up to 2 gallons. And right now my water is 32 ounces, okay? But I want to get it all the way up to 256 ounces. So I'm going to just double. And if I double everything, I have 64 ounces of water, and if I double that again, I have 128 ounces of water, 48 ounces of concentrate, and then if I double again, as I'm going from 128 to 256, I'll get 256 here, so 96 ounces of water, concentrate. And if I added all that together, 352 ounces all together. So in this problem, you're asked how many cans of concentrate do you need? Well, you need 96 ounces of concentrate, and each can is 12 ounces, so you can divide by 12 and figure that out. Or you can remember 12 was 1 can, so 24 was 2 cans, so 48 was 4 cans, so 96 is 8 cans, which you get when you divide 96 by 12. You could have asked different questions. For example, if you move this down, another question we could have asked was part B could be like, how many ounces of juice in all? Right? And then we would have to look at the total here. 352 ounces. maybe I would want to know how many gallons that is, about how many gallons. Yeah, we want to know about how many gallons. So if I ask how many gallons, well, you know that a gallon is 128 ounces because 2 gallons, 256 ounces. So you can subtract out. Probably that's one way you might think about doing it. So that's 1 gallon. Subtract out another 128. You get 96 ounces. So that's 2 gallons. So you would have 2 gallons and 96 ounces. You answer the question like that. Or you could figure out the fraction. Okay. The last two problems. We talked about the wording in class today being a little confusing, so I made this change. So what percent of their games, so did the Hawks lose? So we're talking about the Hawks. So they lost 10 games, but they played 40 total. So 10 out of 40, that's a fourth. So if you multiply that by 25, or if you know the benchmark fraction, you're going to get 25 out of 100. So the Hawks lost 25% of their games. And then the last one, what percent of the games were Hawk losses? So that's a little bit different. That's all the games. So here there's 40 games. And here there's another 40 games. Because 25 plus 15 is 40. So all total there's 80 games. And we're asking what percent of the games were Hawk losses. So for Hawk losses, the total games, we could say that there are 10 Hawk losses to 80 games. That's an 8. Some of you might remember that benchmark fraction of 1 to 8 is 0.125 or 12.5% from last year. If you don't remember that, then don't worry. You can bring this down to 4. This would be 0.5. And then we have to multiply that to get to 100. So 4 times 25 is 100. And 5 times 25 is 125, so 0.5 times 25, which is half of 25, which is 12.5. So 12.5%. That's the end of the video.